Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in the Ultimate Base 3.0. In today's episode it's finally time to colonize another planetoid named Ugola. We just arrived here with Ellie and our first course of action is gonna be to make it secure from radiation first and foremost, and then of course to generate some oxygen and explore the surrounding terrain. I also want to know what we can find right here, and we are probably going to use all the algae in order to produce the oxygen, which is going to make it quick and dirty. Now I think I'm actually going to cancel this and actually place some plastic tiles as they are much better in reducing the incoming radiation. Yeah, that's going to be good. As soon as we build this, it's going from slight hazard all the way down to mostly safe. So Ellie's just going to have to suffer for another cycle or two. Now, as soon as these tiles are built, I'm gonna dedicate my time to exploring a little bit. We just want to avoid the satellites, but I guess we can kind of go straight down here. Yeah, that's not such a bad idea, and then we can just continue like so. Ellie's still gonna need the super duper hard digging skill. I think over time we might have to scrub her. By the way, I think we're getting more light than usual here on this planetoid, so maybe solar panels is an option. I even have enough glass for 4 solar panels. I think we should at least try it out. We are approaching the first volcano. No, it's a hydrogen vent. Not very interesting. Let's see if the second one here is actually something we might want to use. And it is a natural gas geyser. Okay, now it's actually more interesting because we could combine the two in order to create an immense amount of power. We also have our tungsten volcano completely submerged in magma. Yeah, oh, that's gonna be fun. Is there any breach in the abyssalite? Doesn't look like there is. So I'm gonna keep on digging my way all the way down. And over here now, this is regolith, so this is gonna fall down. Gonna have some igneous rock ladders instead. Continue over here and figure out what we can find over there. I'm also already gonna track the algae. I don't think it's gonna actually last forever. I thought it had a little bit more. We should not forget to have a look at Coldito every now and then because this thing currently is loading up and we don't actually want it to completely charge up. Because if you read carefully here with the tooltip, infinite possibilities with a complementary side of meteor showers. And we all know what that means. There's gonna be a meteor shower and we need to at least protect what we got going on here a little bit. Okay, let's see. What have we got going on here? Yes, another tungsten volcano that isn't submerged in magma. I'm so happy. It's not like we need tungsten desperately, but here we go. There's actually also a third one down here. So I wonder, how could we effectively get rid of the magma? Or should we just use it for power, as we do on the main planetoid? But then again, we already have these 2 vents. They could potentially be enough power for everything together with the solar panels. Anyways, before we continue, one more thing we're gonna need is a beacon. Also a payload opener. We're gonna have that right here. And how did I do it? We had the payload opener right there. The targeting beacon would then be situated right next to it. And then 3 more airflow tiles. We're gonna use airflow tiles so the solar panel still has access to light. And of course finally an auto sweeper so that we can still cool it down. Let's also get rid of this part. I wonder, did I take some ore with me? Yeah, look at that, 20 tons of aluminium, which is perfect for my power cabling. And then once everything is built, I'm gonna protect it a little bit by placing some insulated tiles to shield it from the rocket. Okay, nice. Now we are actually starting to open up the payloads, at least during the daytime, but it's as I suspected. We are already producing almost 200 watts and it just became daytime. Now I think my next course of action is going to be to set up a steam turbine room together with an aqua tuner so we can already start cooling down everything we would like. Looks like we need to open up a couple more payloads in order to get the necessary materials, but we can already imagine where this is gonna go. So this will be going down here. Actually, that is not convenient. Let's build this somewhere else. Yeah, to be honest with you, I first need to dig out a little bit more of the terrain before I can really plan this out properly. I also need the proper way to dump my materials here. Now, I think Ellie is in the wrong schedule. At least it feels like it. Yeah, look at that. That's a total waste. You have to use your time differently. I think the default schedule here is much more appropriate, much more work time. Actually, let's have a look at the skills again. Ellie, are you still okay? No, she's slowly diminishing in morale. Let's hope it's not getting worse. And I'm guessing I'm just starting to dig away off the terrain. I'm not sure how we're gonna deal with the satellites yet. I might just surround them for now, so they pose no more threat to Ellie, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright guys, I'm back and it is quite a bit later, as you can probably tell. I have approximately planned out what I want to do with this planetoid, and while doing that, I also dug out a good chunk of it. First and foremost, I decided to use this entire area here for oxygen production, including a whole bunch of machinery that I might use. For instance, I installed a bunch of batteries. I had to install a triage card because I made some experience with the experiment here. I also added a skill scrubber because the morale points really weren't enough, and so I had to reallocate them. I made a little collection area for items that I want to sweep up, and even more importantly, I decided where I want to put my aqua tuner and steam engine. I decided to go with a little heatsink here for the rocket, meaning we are only going to use one row of steel tiles, then we're going to fill this up with a certain amount of liquid. And then right here we're gonna have some additional steel tiles in order to transfer the heat and then probably heat up the steam room together with the aqua tuner. So maybe without any further ado, let's go ahead and get some stuff installed. Now I need to be a little bit careful. I think I can get rid of this ladder already. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then right on top of here we should be able to set up a steam engine. We're gonna use some insulated piping to get the stuff back into the steam room. And I guess right here I want to use a bridge. Next up, I also would like to establish a liquid lock here in order to pump out the room. I find it more convenient when the steam engine room is a vacuum. So actually we'll have to think about how to bring the supercoolant down. I mean, we could technically just go down and fill up the loop with a bridge, like so. And then we could use the loop to bring supercoolant anywhere else we want. So maybe let's first get that loop completed. We will be going into the aqua tuner, bypass this guy like so, have a little bridge there. From the output we connect into the bridge and then we can go like so. Yeah, and all we have to do is make sure we also cool down the steam engine and we go back over in order to join the loop. Now we only really have polluted water here on this planetoid, but I think we can just let it go through a water sieve and then fill up this room with some water. Yeah, that should be possible, but first we have to send over some supercoolant and we can do that right here. We just have to change the destination here, Ugola, that's it. And we want to reset the amount here. Send over a couple of loads of supercoolant. And before I forget, liquid pipe thermo sensor. Do I even have... Oh, I only have steel. No, I have a little bit of copper. And connect that with an automation wire. And of course, before I forget, I totally missed that this thing actually fully charged. Thankfully, we have to click a fire button before it actually launches. So, whoops. But yeah, before I forget, we should start to convert all the polluted oxygen into normal oxygen. That would be a great start. And of course we can do that by setting up a bunch of deodorizers. I'm just gonna do 2 and 2 and we can just use the heavy watt wire there. Wonderful, here they are, my deodorizers. We just need to fill them up with sand or regolith. And there is also my aqua tuner. I just wanted to say, Ellie seems to be happy, but then she got sick, so that wouldn't have been very good timing. I think my supercoolant is going through. That's looking good. What is a good temperature to go for? I think something below 20 degrees would be nice. And the reason for that is the resin we'll be getting from the tree right there. Let's have a look at the properties. Yeah, freeze point is 20 degrees. So if we get it below that, we could probably much easier ship it to the main planetoid. Or we just ship it as a liquid. I mean, will I really have to actively cool this part down? I don't think so. Well, let's keep this above 25 degrees, then we want to cool it down. Right now the aqua tuner will be bypassed either way because it is not powered. And now I'm finally starting to convert my air to oxygen. This is going to go really quickly. And then additionally we'll also feature a oxygen diffuser somewhere at the bottom. Let's actually see, I'm gonna drag the cabling down below and also bring it outside of this contraption. We will then eventually end up somewhere here. And this is probably also where we want to add a heavy watt joint plate. I think it's time to say goodbye to this and actually drain it. I'm gonna add some more deodorizers here at the bottom, just to be on the safe side. Thankfully, I brought enough aluminium with me in order to fulfill all these endeavors. Maybe not the most beautiful cable job I've ever done, but it's gonna do the trick. Wonderful. As you can see, everything has already been converted to oxygen. I installed 2 gas pumps here, and I also made the filtration system we always make in order to expel all the other gases should we catch them. And then the pipe is just continuing all the way over to a rocket port gas loader in order to then fill up the gas cargo canister once again. In the meantime, I had to give Ellie back her skills, so we are lacking the morale again. I also would like to see a little bit of supercoolant here for the liquid lock. I do not have anything handy other than what we see here. So all we can do is connect the pipe here and then release one single packet. Come on. That should already have done the trick. So we have this packet over here and that's gonna fill up the liquid lock. Wonderful. That means I can now set up a gas pump somewhere and expel the gases. I also would like to see some supercoolant here on the ground, and all we have to do for that is empty out one pipe. Now I believe for that we are gonna require yet another skill, plumbing, yeah. What time of day is it at the moment? So it's just before, let's freaking do it. Improved strength and plumbing in order to empty that pipe, and we're gonna make sure this gets a high priority. There, she gets her skill scrubber back for later. We are gonna empty that pipe. We just need to empty it once and then we can cancel the command. Now, do I need to build anything else that requires mechatronics engineering right now? It was the steam turbine and the rails that actually required it. I mean, we will be needing to build rails again, but I think I can now skill scrub her again in order to easily build the rest. Yeah, I think at this point this is the best course of action. I'm sorry, Ellie. You have to go through this again. And there she goes again, skill-free but happy. Now the aqua tuner started to go. I'm not sure this is really, this is actually a really bad idea. We do not really have that kind of power just yet. Oh, and before I forget, empty out that bottle. So that's actually another way to get the supercoolant here on the ground. You can do it, you can do it. Thank you. And with these pipes out of the way, we are also pumping out the gases. So that's gonna take a cycle or two. Just a couple of pipes to go here as well. And we are finally pumping in the oxygen into the gas cargo canister, which means we can now indefinitely stay on this planetoid and take our sweet time to do things properly. You know, during the daytime, we could actually go ahead and enable the aqua tuner for just a tiny bit. Oh, actually, that was stupid. Now it's overheating. Got a bottle emptier here. Let's bring some polluted water. Oh no, I cannot use polluted water. Otherwise, it's just gonna off-gas again. Ah, gosh. Okay, a little bit of water is tagging along. Is it gonna be enough? No. In this case, I'm gonna do one load of polluted water just to get this cooled down a little bit. Yeah. There is my polluted water. That, well, should definitely be enough. Oh, what a mess. You know, I have to say, these mini pods, they suck a little bit. And the reason for that is during the downtime, the duplicants attempt to go there. So Ellie, just before sleeping time, goes to the mini pod and then she misses sleep. And I suspect this is happening on Crudil and Glowani as well with these pods. So I officially just hate them, and I hate the fact that you cannot remove them. So I will be cheating to remove them actually, just because we're already dealing with quite a bit of crap here in this game, and that just takes the cake. Good, now we're just gonna use the debug menu to destroy, I guess, this thing here. And then if I unpause the game, we can still go ahead and fire. Perfect, so I'm just gonna remove these. Alrighty, I'm gonna be right back once I pumped out the room and got my steel tiles in formation. We also need to finish the power cables and everything. And then I guess we can finally also try to come up with a way to actually feed the tree and get the resin out of here. Alrighty, we are back and holy cow, it is quite a few cycles later. I decided to go all out on this episode in terms of off-camera work so that we can get to the more interesting parts. So basically I ended up hollowing out the entirety of the terrain, and in intervals I also encased all of these wrecked satellites. The radiation around it is really bad, so that I could build about 5 or 6 tiles before working on something else in order to get rid of more radiation overnight. And so about 20 to 30 cycles later we have this result. I basically first completed this room, so we are gonna fill the first 2 tiles here with water before we start the rocket again. This should heat up the water and theoretically then transfer it over here. We also still need to fill up the steam room itself with a layer of water. And then I made this little vacuum shaft. It isn't technically necessary, but you know, now we have everything isolated. In the meantime, I've been pumping away happily. I expanded my jumbo batteries a little bit and added a bottle emptier so I can cool them down in case I need to. I also added my other liquids right here. So at the bottom now we should only have polluted water and normal water. Now my intention is to set up a pump right here. And actually before I do that, let me tell you about the overall plan. So we are gonna collect radiation right here and we're gonna bring it over to a interplanetary launcher that's situated somewhere here. Let's actually make this a little bit more clear. We're gonna set this up right there. This means we probably can exchange this with a joint plate, so we only have to bring the wrap bolts up here. So once we open this up and fuel the wrap bolt generators, we can bring them up. Another thing I would like to see is a transit tube access point right there, probably. Let me see. Yeah, we need enough space. So if I have it here, we can then lead the transit tube up and we can replace this with a crossing right there. And all I really want to see is a way for me to go between these 2 layers without gases being able to escape. This is gonna bother me. Let me rearrange that so we have the 2 access points right on top of each other and then we just come around here. Yeah. Of course, this also means we need to drag the power down. I'm gonna do it right at this point. And I think what I'm gonna do is just convert the polluted water right here. So if we take a water sieve, place that here, maybe swap it around, then it can go directly into the water sieve and we can drag the pipes up. Now, how did I do that? I have the access point right here. Maybe we just bring the water from the main planetoid. That might actually make it easier. Though, what else to do with that polluted water? There's no reason to really keep it around. So maybe we are just gonna go through the pain of setting something up here. If we have a bridge right there, we can shorten the loop a little bit and then have a bridge going over, like so. And then we just need to complete the pipes. There, now I can also place my plate. Yeah. This is actually going to add up nicely. Now, basically, my intention is to let the hydrogen vent and the natural gas geyser just go nuts. We're going to cool down a small area using the aqua tuner right here, and then we're just going to pump the gases randomly and bring them towards their respective generator system, and hopefully that is just going to work out like a dream. We also have to build this heavy watt wire in order to power the water sieve, but both of these things here are just temporary. Eventually, though, we'll have to hook up the tungsten volcano. There we go. There's my second transit tube access point, which means I will be able to close this off, but I'm only going to do that once we actually tap into the vents. Also, the interplanetary launcher is now installed. Wonderful. Voila, there's my water sieve. Hopefully, we have enough power. Look at that. Just before break time, we actually finished something. No, we didn't. Yeah, we did not finish it. I mean, why would I think that? It never happened in 3000 cycles. The pipe work has been completed. Let's connect these 2 pipes. Hang on, I totally forgot. I built this little loop here, so I have a tiny bit more space in my supercoolant loop. This is actually going to allow me to empty out this pipe. Yeah, now it is empty, which means I can connect these pipes. They are now separate and my water can run in. Yay, finally something is going here. Up to this point, everything was like prep work. Good, now I think we can just leave this running. What do we have here? No, wait! My supercoolant actually landed in the contraption! Let's see, is this gonna bother me? I mean, there's gonna be a tiny layer of supercoolant at the bottom. I'm not gonna fix it, because it is still beautiful, and it will cost us way too much time to go back in there now. Okay, let's think about the next steps. We want to use this cooling loop in order to also cool down the rat bolt generators. However, we can just use the gases. We don't have to add any supercoolant or liquids. We just have to have our cooling loop. So let's say I'm going to be cooling this part, and then maybe on the right side here, we can have our pumping system. Though I gotta be slightly careful. Hydrogen is coming out at 500 degrees, however natural gas is coming out at 150. If we use supercoolant and an aqua tuner, we're gonna be able to cool down sufficiently, that's no problem. But we also gotta protect the plastic. So maybe instead what we could be doing is have a insulated layer going over, and then as of this point we just add airflow tiles. Yeah, this could actually work out. Let's add airflow tiles like so. So all the gases will be going up, and then we would be limiting this like so and like so probably. Yeah, let's just make sure we can still enter. You know what? Even better. Instead of airflow tiles, we're gonna have something we can control, such as mechanized airlocks. And we'll just add them across like so. I also want to see an automatic dispenser here so I can get rid of the materials that I still have there. There we go. The big sweeping has begun. Like this it goes really quickly, and we can also mop up the rest of the resin. Clean everything up. Alrighty, we're back with one skip later and I prepared everything for the next step. I decided to leave this open like so hydrogen and natural gas can freely flow out and fill up the entirety of the chambers. This part right here I will probably close off once I don't need to get there anymore, but we can still open it up in case we need to do some maintenance. Now here I installed a whole bunch of ladders and power cables. The power cables are going to be responsible to supply the rat ball generators later on. And then I also prepared the cooling loop that will be going down here, and probably right here we'll have a bunch of generators and our pumping system. So maybe to get things going I'm gonna set up my radiant pipes. There are gonna be 2 sets like so. And then as mentioned over here I'm probably gonna have a bunch of generators and then my pumps. So if we set up a bunch of radiant pipes, maybe like so, how far can I build up? Up to this point, yeah, and then we just loop back. We then join back with this loop and start to connect everything. Yeah, that might actually work out. How are we looking with the radiation? 134, so usually at this point I would try to get a little bit more cautious. But there's also another thing I would like to get prepared. I would like to move my oxygen diffuser up there, get that power cabling going so I can remove it from this part, and we also remove the cabling job. Essentially what I would like to see here is a way to keep my polluted water and it will be able to off-gas, so we can just convert it to normal oxygen and use it for the spaceship. Ellie is going to bed. She's gonna get rid of a bunch of rats, so I'm gonna be able to build some more pipes. I know this is annoying, but at this point we can just as well finish it, and it wasn't that dramatic with the radiation. It's not the same as with a research reactor. Maybe we can just hijack the pipe we already built before, and we can make a system to drop the polluted water in this part, and then all the rest of the liquids are gonna be dropped there. So all we need is a couple of vents, a liquid pipe element sensor right in front of it, connected with automation wire. The way I've done it since I'm here, whenever I have low radiation, I'm gonna build a bunch of stuff that gives me radiation, and then I can work on the other things again. Another thing I would like to do is connect these pipes and then get rid of the water sieve, as I only want the polluted water and not necessarily convert it to water. Now we are just above 100 rats, so I'm gonna let her build these 2 pipes, and then we're gonna tend to the top portion again. And we can do that by just increasing the priority. Good, the pipe sensor is already in place. Let's set it up so we don't forget about it. We need polluted water going out this liquid vent. Very nice, that looks completed. Let's set up the bottle emptier. This one is for polluted water, and this one here is going to be for everything else except polluted water. Something else we might already want to plan out is the railing system. This is probably just going to go down here in order to drop the food. And we need another conveyor chute right there. Now I guess with basically everything in place, we can remove these tiles and then start to set up the rat ball generators. I think I'm actually only gonna go with 2 here and 2 at the bottom. Ah, nice. At least this pipe now is completed. Hopefully that's gonna go well. But I think it's the best course of action to just let it evaporate into polluted oxygen. Looks like that is gonna work out, and hopefully, well, maybe it's a little bit more than we can hold. We'll have to see. How much worse is the radiation? Ooh, okay, from the spot we are actually building, it's not that bad. I also need to build a ladder up, because that's where we are gonna collect the hydrogen. We're gonna build a pump, and we're gonna make it out of steel, just in case. Now I'm gonna want this covered in airflow tiles, so the gases will be able to freely flow up. And maybe we're gonna give ourselves an access point here on the very side. Also, the cabling is extremely weird here. I think I decided to actually get rid of this part. Okay, I think I'm ready to wrap up the episode. Of course, we're gonna get it in motion the next time, because geez, that was just taking a really long time. But yeah, we can already think about our rat bolt generators. I would like to see maybe 2 like so. We can then use 1 rat bolt reflector here, another one there, and another one here. I think that is gonna work out. I should be able to build that in the next cycle. And then we basically just have to clean things up a little bit. Of course, we still have to build the generator room here with the gas pumps and everything, but that could be a really nice topic for the next episode. This guy needs to shoot to the left. Those guys also need to shoot to the left. And where do you have your power slots? Of course. So we'll have to drag that over here. And I guess for now, I don't want them powered, though we better do that with automation. So we'll have 1 switch over here. We can enable or disable them as we please. And we'll have something similar here on the other side. My 2 rat bolt generators are gonna go here and they can just shoot straight up. That's already sorted in this case. Oh, now they are turned on. I don't really want that right now. Ellie, how are you doing? 138, 50, 60. Okay, she managed to build the 2 reflectors. 1 shooting up, 1 shooting over, and then it's gonna land in the Interplanetary launcher. Now, actually thinking about it, we might want to automate the rat bolts with the Interplanetary launcher. So all we'll have to do is add a NOT gate here and then send it through there. Yeah, I think that is the better idea. So we'll go and do that and also do that. And in this case, maybe we're gonna go around at the NOT gate somewhere here before joining this cable. I think that makes sense. So NOT gate, and this is also gonna allow us to add a switch right on top of it in order to deactivate the rat bolts manually if we want to. Okay, I would say it is pretty clear now what I'm going for. This is gonna be actually pretty exciting to let these geysers and vents go nuts. Then it's just gonna travel around. We'll have to remove this plastic because at this point it's still gonna be very hot, but then we'll have a bunch of generators here and pumps to sort out the gases. I think it's gonna be absolutely glorious. So I'm pretty confident we should be able to finish this in the next episode and then already go ahead, start feeding the tree. But with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.